Hey guys, welcome back to the Pairfect Crew. Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. Our topic today is our diasporans, so people who live outside their home countries, who've migrated out of their countries. Are they looking to go back home and get life partners or spouses, or are they going to be in their cities or in their new countries and find a partner? Are people still looking to go back home and get a wife or a husband? Case in point, Nigerians, because we're all Nigerians here. So let me paint you a picture, a quick scenario, right? A Nigerian young man who has left the shores of Nigeria, say in his 20s, as a student. He's gone on to get a bachelor's education, maybe even a master's, and has a nice, decent job. Now it's time to get married, right? He's in his early 30s. Are young Nigerian men going home to find a wife? Or are they looking for a wife in their new countries, in their new cities? Are we ready to dissect this topic, guys?
I mean, I would just have to say that it's not just the Nigerian men, but also the Nigerian women are making those choices.
Yes. That was just a quick scenario for you guys, right? But I just want to know, are we ready?
Let's go.
It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. Let's hear from the Pairfect Crew what we think. What do you guys think? Are young men in this generation, in this day and time, are they still doing that, traditional thing of, I want a traditional wife, I'm going to go home and get a wife? Or are we looking for a wife where we live?
Yeah, I think some people are still going home to look for a wife, and there could be maybe parental influence that drives that. I think some other people, it's based off of their own upbringing, like things that they saw their parents do, and now they're like, okay, you know what? This is what I want for my own family. I want a woman that will be able to, if I say jump, you should say how high, right? Like cook, clean, do all the things, like raise the kids, like do that, traditional wifely role. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The only thing is, when you're in this part of the world, like it's different, right? So the expectations are different, right? Like how things would obtain back home are not necessarily how it will obtain here. I'll give you an example. Back home, Nigeria case in point, you have even like young, like middle class families that are able to have like nannies or help. And maybe like you might have like a driver that will help to take on some of those responsibilities of taking the kids to school and things like that. Here you're doing everything on your own. You will take the kids, take them to school, soccer practice, do all that, and then you're working full time to try to support your spouse. It's not that easy. And I think that a lot of the women here that are already like, maybe they brought them up here or they were born here, they are independent and they're like, yeah, no, what are you bringing to the table? If I'm the one that's going to be doing all of this, then you should be able to pull your own weight. And I don't think some of our men are ready for that conversation. So they think that the easiest way is probably to go back home to find a nice girl that they can mold into their mothers or mold into who they want them to be. And but that's usually
what men what men want most in this life, is respect. You understand what I mean? It's respect. Because at the end of the day, when you are saying, some women, when they feel because, they are independent or whatever, this thing, a man is a man not independent when he has money and is single.
Okay, that's not what she's saying.
No, I know that's not what we are talking about this matter now.
Men that are looking for wives now, and having bachelor now is in his late 30s, maybe mid 30s. So this is a man that was brought up in the 80s or in the 90s in Nigeria, Abi? Yeah. And we know the stereotype around, the mothers and their sons and how they like to, they are the prize. The men are the prize. Allegedly. But they're not letting them cook. They're not letting them do.
Let me change
They're not letting them do any house chores. They're not letting them do any domestic duties, right? Now these men are ready to settle down and they're looking for their mothers and wives. You're going home to go and look for, a girl who was probably not even brought up in the city, maybe somebody in the rural area. One nigga or a kaite.
What about the girls that are looking for their fathers and husbands? We understand. It's not all about.
Yes, we're also looking for spouses. But I think that is a little more flexible for women because all a woman really needs is a safe space or a safe man. Whatever he looks like, wherever he comes from, I think women are more flexible in the sense that they can marry who they are seeing in their immediate environment. But men are very specific about who they will spend the rest of their lives with. You see conversations about, I want my children to speak Igbo, I want my children to speak Yoruba, I want my children to speak Pidgin.
And what is wrong?
There's nothing wrong with that, as long as that's what you are doing and you're not looking for a subservient woman, and then you go home to find a woman who doesn't have a voice.
Personally, well, actually no, but realistically, what I'm trying to get at is, so again, it really doesn't matter if what I think works for me is, again, I'll always speak from my personal observation about marriage, about life, about things like this. I think, you see, there are boxes for every man. And it so happens that for an African man who is in his millennial generation, who was raised up by a baby boomer or someone around that generational, you have a lot of African understanding, influence about parental upbringing, right? I have an expectation. I remember before I had my first child, I can remember exactly how, the kind of conversations I had with my dad, the kind of conversations I had with my mom, right?
So you were living in Diaspora?
Right. At the time, I was very independent here in Canada. But my point is, there's an expectation from parents that at a certain point, again, bear in mind that this is generational, and it varies from person to person, right? But in the larger spectrum of generations, I think for those that traveled out of the country, there's an expectation that at a certain point you must have a child. You know what I mean? At a certain point of your life, you must have made a certain amount of money. At a certain point of your life, you must be at this stage of life, certainly. Now, it all boils down to how much you are connected with your reality. Again, like I said, personally for me, I'm not in any race or anything with anybody, including what my parental upbringing looks like.
So, Mecca, tell us what you would be looking for if you're eligible and single.
As a Nigerian, I always want my Nigerian wife now, because there's a lot of things that goes into it.
But the Nigerian wife,
yeah, the Nigerian girls.
Mm-hmm. Nigerian wife from here.
Or from here, anywhere. Yeah, back home. I don't know.
So I think, let me pose a challenge to you. You know good and well that the girls here in Edmonton, let's use our local area, are,
Ontario, okay.
Yeah, this guy's in Vancouver, man. Well, in different locations. But, they're independent, they're strong-willed, they have a career, they have a life of their own. They don't need no man. They're just supposed to be the icing on the cake. You're not really the price. You know what I mean? Why should I jump? Yeah. So, are you going to settle for that? Do you love that? Or do you want, cousin, where's my food? I'm coming home by 7, let the food be ready. What do you want?
I don't know. What do I want? I don't know. It's what I have that I want now. That's what you have.
No.
I have everything now. There's a lot to say about it now. The truth about it is that, this thing is not. It all depends on
linear
people involved. That's just the truth. Let me just stop now because I'm not tired. So, but it all depends on people involved. We Nigerian guys, we always want his relationship, the relationship between both of you that really matters, because you might decide to say you want to get married to a white girl. If she fits into that, whatever you have in your head, then you go for it. If it's Nigerian babe, you want to go back home and get the Nigerian girl, it's a risk because you don't even know who you're even going to meet over there. You just have this picture in your head that because of your mom and your dad, you just feel if you go back home, you meet one Nigerian babe that would, that if you tell her to sit down, she'll sit down. Or, that culture thing now that you're the man of the house and everything. But that's why I say it depends on both parties, like the guy and the girl. Because nowadays, we have our women that they do as much as the men.
So saying it depends on both parties, do you think the parents have a role to play here in terms of them asking their kids to come back home and pick a wife, or they rather stay back here and pick a wife? I would also pose this question to the men.
Because it's the men that are the white ones. Yeah. They're the ones that go into the market and sex.
Yeah.
If they say men are
sex.
Yeah. At this point, I would say, yeah, parents, they always have that influence, trying to persuade the kids to come home and marry.
Especially their sons.
Especially the boys. First son, yes. First son. So, but for me, from my background, growing up, we didn't really have that upbringing. My dad died, when we were younger. So it was my mom. My mom didn't really mind. Her own is, are you happy? Is this what you want? You say yes. She will now tell you things that you are going to see in the marriage, or you should be expecting from her own experience. And then she will tell you, know God.
pray, and you have my blessings. That's it. So for me, I don't really mind the tribe. I don't mind where the person is from. And actually, my parents or my mom didn't really mind anywhere in the world. So that's my own point and my opinion.
Yeah.
That's fair. Fine. Pretending that, this goddess, you have not met her yet. You are searching, you're looking, you gotta get married.
I'm a simple man by nature.
Come on.
I don't get no issue, No, but at the end of the day, just like Emeka said, it depends on both parties. Even going back home right now, it gets as it be with the Tinubu economy.
It's a package wife for you.
I'm telling you, every girl right now that you go and meet and say, I want to get married, and you're doing fine, she's a good girl. Until she enter house with you. Yeah, because you are the escape plan out of that system.
Nigerian girls, come and defend yourself.
No, I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them. But we're going back home, And then girls here also, because of the I don't know about them, but if you look at some other, how will I put them, culture, or if you look at the Asians and all those things, they don't try to be like the environment they are in, or adopt to the other. They still keep that same culture. But our people, when we come, the next minute, you can't tell me nothing. I'm a feminine. I'm independent. I'm this. I'm that. They become very, very difficult, self-centered, and not all of them. Allegedly. Some of them. You understand what I mean? So that is just the issue with what I think.
It looks like you guys are now in a bind. Yeah. Is it that, rather than even try, let me just stay single and just flex.
If I wasn't married by now, and you tell me to go and get married, I will not get married. With not knowing what I know now, we're seeing what's happening right now, the way the world is.
Okay, let me give you guys an example. And in a way, I pity some of the guys at this point, because we see some of these horror stories, we read some of them online and things like that. And there was one particular one that I read, and this man was trying to, get married to this lady, and they were doing their medicals and things. And she actually falsified the medical records, and she was HIV positive.
Oh my god!
And he didn't know about it. So because of the breakdown of society, I'm not saying that you cannot get good real results, all honest results, real results from back home, from Nigeria. But maybe he didn't have people that could go vet it, or he didn't have a particular. She's I'm just going to go to my doctor, and because of the how things are, a lot of people are very open to taking bribes and things like that. So that was what she was able to do, and she presented all the documentation were on point. Everything was legit. It was original. It was from a real place, not just a pseudo place, not just a place that he formulated online and just went to get papers. This place actually existed, but she was able to bribe the lab attendant, the person who wrote the report. So I think they found out down the line and things like that. I think one of the kids got infected when she had a baby, and when they now started all the investigations and blah blah blah, I found out that she had it for a while, and of course and I can't remember if the man also got infected, but it was just a very messy situation. And I just feel there are more of these stories that we hear, right? Where things about the excessive packaging, you don't really know who is a a good person, or who has those values and things.
That's a location-based problem.
I mean, if you're a country like Nigeria, I hear that, but a country like Nigeria where a lot of people are trying to there's this huge jackpot syndrome, so that plays a role. That influences those kind of decisions, right? To want to okay, let me appear a certain way so that I will fit into this picture that the person has, right?
So another angle is maybe a guy that is living here, maybe the guy don't cast or here. Everybody know his story. And then he leaves Canada and goes to Nigeria to go pick a wife. Yeah. And he's acting all good. And the wife in Nigeria, innocent girl, will just see, fine boy, my brother. I want to marry
go back.
Yeah, just go back. But you don't know that the guy don't cast for here. He's
a bad boy.
It's
they deported him.
Humanizer, every girl knows him that this guy.
Women not like that.
No, but I'm just saying
they will do the same thing and then run away and do for the last thing, or still go and do the same thing. It was both ways.
Well, for me, I feel like things have really changed now. This topic really, if you look back then in the, would I say 70s, we had our parents abroad and they matchmake them, even without seeing them, seeing their partners. But things have changed a lot now. We have people, internet, fraud, lies, a lot of lies now. So
no, she's just saying
I'll give you an example.
But I understand what you mean. You're saying they didn't necessarily know each other. So this matter of trust or validating or hiring an honest person didn't really come into play.
Exactly.
Because that's what they got.
Yes, and then there was even this. They even got married without seeing each other. There was this marriage without the person being on ground. So that's why I said now things have really changed. We could look at the time now and back then it's not the same anymore. Like Emeka pointed out, values, yes, respect. The respect that my bosom friend here is speaking about. Respect, there's culture, the women are committed. But now I feel like women are so educated, they have gone so far in their careers, then women can actually resign from their jobs or not even go further and stay at home. Be a stay at home, or they are ready to be committed to that marriage. But it's not like that anymore.
Because when they are
So I agree with that 100% because I agree with that 100%, and I'll tell you why I agree with that. I read. Yeah, go ahead.
They were, but because of values, like he said, they had value. But these days, with the feminism and all those things, once a woman starts succeeding, when a woman starts succeeding,
They were not as
because they were on top of the glass ceiling. They would not rise above the point in the office.
Right now.
In fact, those days the women were just
Secondary. Like,
but right now, they
with equality and all those things now. So,
National Women's Month.
yes.
So I mean,
The men of these days, they want 50-50. We don't have men that are like odogus that
I don't
it needs to be. Or like, okay.
I don't do 50. I don't do 50.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying, like most guys these days they want 50-50. And they also want the lady to put everything and also give you full respect, like do everything. Exactly, as if you're a traditional wife. So you can't eat your cake and have it.
No, who's going to work 2-4-7, come back home, she's taking care of the kids, doing a lot of things.
And she come and serve you.
No, but why am I going this way? Why am I going this way? Because this is what you guys are doing. Or you guys. This is what eligible young men are looking for, and why they're not settling for the ones they are seeing in their front.
Exactly.
Because they want to go home and get a woman who doesn't necessarily care. Like, she wants to be a strong woman. She wants to cook. She wants to clean. She wants to be the savior of the world. But the ones here are like, what are you bringing and what am I bringing? Let's be a mutually beneficial relationship. And they don't want to hear that. They want to go home and get the babe who will walk home. She's coming here to walk home. She's coming here to bear the children.
She's coming to walk.
Yeah,
when she gets here.
Yeah, when she gets here.
I have a question.
It's like that.
I have a question.
Like those stories that they talk about that men go back home and go marry, bring ladies to America, and then they become nurses and they start earning for their husbands. And the husband is just doing nothing.
I have a question.
Exactly.
But the women don't respect the man because he feels to her level has increased way more than that man.
So that brings my question. When you say the women don't respect the men, what do you mean by that? What kind of respect? Okay, that's another aspect.
What context? Okay. Respect now doesn't mean, for example, I'm responding. And he could be asking me, right? Respect is, it goes both ways. You understand? But if you want to go to, Bible, all those kind of things, yes, everybody to look at, for example, the wife should be submissive to the husband. But we know that based on that's what I'm saying. This is my own opinion and understanding of so it might differ from every other person. Respect from the woman doesn't mean, for example, I will go home tomorrow and expect that before I get home, she finish her work, she get home, clean the house, cook food. No, that is not what I mean by respect.
Or she's serving you food and kneeling down.
You understand? That is not what I respect. You understand? Don't disrespect.
Yeah.
As long as you are not disrespecting your husband.
What is disrespect? What is that disrespect? We need to understand the
man is so fried out. The moment she makes $10,000 more,
that is what that is for people, no, but not for me.
So what do you know that idea of disrespect?
Do you know that right since me and my wife got married, I don't know how much she makes. What is you understand? Yeah, even if she makes more than me, for example. I don't know. I know you told me before, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You understand what I mean? I don't know.
So, that's a conversation.
No, like if we start going into deep into all this
in general. to you, this is just you, and it doesn't have to be everybody, it doesn't have to relate to African man. To you, what amounts to disrespect from the wife? Simple, I'm just asking the question. What amounts to disrespect?
One example.
One example, okay, let me just sit down and think now. Like, how will I say it now? Sometimes the way your wife talks to you, you know, her tone.
Yeah.
Maybe, for example, you eat, maybe you drink or something, you forgot, you left your glass or something and you forgot about it. So it happens. You understand? Sometimes instead of the woman to say, "Oh, this guy, he forgot his glass, just take it." Who are you leaving your glasses for glass on the table for like that? Well, do you have a house at your this? Why not you put your glasses on the when you are done? Or in the morning, I saw that you finish watching TV, you did not turn on the TV, or you left the chair in one corner, or you know that kind of stuff like that. Those are. Look, it happens.
Sorry, bro.
That is just an example.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying, so for the most part of things,
It's not going to happen now.
okay, so for the most part of things, it is more about communication and how you present your.
All I'm just saying is, at the end of the day, in a relationship,
Right.
like you said, man gets ego.
Okay.
A woman needs to know how to massage that ego.
Okay, perfect. No, he's making it point. He's coming back to the subject. He's coming back to the subject. I like that.
It doesn't mean this woman now, like I'm saying, you're massaging the man's ego doesn't mean you wash me, put yourself and walk like, no, that's not how you massage the man's ego. Sometimes just looking at him and saying, we'll come,
No, and that's
you understand? Appreciate. You
So, my brother, let me say something. You're talking about massaging ego. So, does it mean that, like you mentioned, how the women or woman talks to her husband? Like maybe you drop a cup and your wife will be like, "Why are you giving this cup?" Example, right? So, do you know that why she's talking to you in that manner does not mean that she's disrespecting you? What it means there is she is keeping the house. She does the house, most of the house chores, right? So leaving this cup here, she must have told you before that stop leaving. So I know what I'm saying. Like she must have told you, don't leave this cup here in a nice manner, well packaged manner. Babe, don't keep this. I'm using myself as an example. Do you understand? I'm just saying. So if your wife has told you to remove this thing the first time, second time, the third time, the fourth time, she will talk to you like a kid.
Because that is invalidating to her, right?
Yeah,
so that means that you are not paying attention.
Exactly.
You're not putting effort to meet her.
Exactly. So why I said I use myself as an example. I don't wait. Sorry. I don't wait for my wife to go to that level of saying the fifth time. Do you understand? Because it's frustrating.
So are you saying that kind of disrespect is shadow? Like it's not.
I don't see it
as disrespect. So maybe the disrespect that you are probably thinking about is, let's say, you guys are somewhere, and then maybe she goes and greets another man in a very personal or intimate manner, and people are like, I know the person wife with that, something like that, right?
Another disrespect I want to point out is when a woman tells her man, "Shut up," where people are.
Even where people are not.
No. When you guys are indoors, I don't care what happens. But when you come outside, that is disrespect. That's the point I want to make. Yeah. So that's what I feel as disrespect.
So in the context of the topic we're talking about, because the whole disrespect matter came up as a result of the fact saying when women become successful, they forget themselves, right? They become rude, they become disrespectful. Are you saying that because the point you made about the glass is a frustrated woman, which is a different thing, I think. A woman has now attained a certain level of success. Maybe a woman that was brought up here. The man married who he saw in Canada, right? Now she has been promoted 4 or 5 times in her company. She's a director of something. Does that give her the audacity?
That is where the frustration comes in. She goes to work, she walks her ass out, then she comes back home, she sees this glass cup here. Every now and then, what happens? She'll be frustrated. And when No. To me. That's why I'm telling him, like, I don't see that as disrespect.
Well, that's why both of you are two different people, right?
So what you see as disrespect is not what he sees as disrespect.
Because it ties to her success.
Right. Why?
Yes, you have made money now.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But you are saying she's tired.
So, if I was the sole provider, you probably not be able to talk to me like that. But because you feel like we don't behave mates now. You're working and working. Yeah. Especially when you're making. Oh, you're wearing child.
So that's, and we've asked the men, right? Now let's throw one last one. If you're a bachelorette in 2025 looking to settle down, what would be your immediate way to find a nice, decent man to settle down with? Are you going to look in your city, in where you work, in your circle of friends? Or are you going to take a 6-month hiatus or a 3-month hiatus and go home and find a man?
Well,
Go to Nigeria.
I would say you can.
Because remember, for us women, I'm sorry, for us women it's different. We have a time, we have a biological clock ticking, so we're more panicked, we're more in a hurry. It has to happen within a certain time so that we can have kids and all that. What would you hurriedly do if it's not coming?
For me, you can find your soulmate anywhere. You don't necessarily have to go back home. It can even be on a flight from here to Toronto, or it could be just anywhere. You never know.
Ladies in the diaspora here are complaining that the men are not coming.
But then we still have the ladies who are seeing the men.
What's the percentage? What's the percentage of people that marry who they meet here?
So that's why I said, if you're open, I feel just be open-minded. Be open-minded.
Yeah.
Where exactly? Exactly. If your mind is back home, or if your mind is not there, then you are not seeing anybody. But if you're open-minded and you believe, oh yes, anybody I meet, I'm ready to be friends with that person. Your husband could actually be your neighbor or your housemate where you're sharing.
Generally?
Yes, well, you want to take it too deep.
No,
it's not that deep.
That's what I'm actually hearing. And if you look at the percentage of single women, you just look at your offices or in your churches or wherever, there is a lot. What's the problem? I do not say men.
Let's not forget, naturally, women are always more than men.
That's what you just said.
Yes. Women are just more than men wherever they are, anywhere in the world.
I was talking to an older lady that lives in Nigeria, and we're having this conversation, and I was like telling her that, oh, there's this my friend that she's she's searching, and it's finding it hard for her to find someone.
Searching for a husband.
Yeah, searching for a life partner and that lives in this part of the world. And then she was like, but you pay cash. Does she have her money?
She's not ready now.
Like, if she has her money,
you get it tricky.
she can get a man.
Well, that's the thing. She's not ready.
Are you guys saying that this older lady was suggesting that the woman should have the money to marry the man?
Once you have money, the kind of quality of men that we have in Nigeria now, they are gold diggers.
The men are gold diggers. So the men are not the ones digging the gold and looking for the woman with the. I see.
Yeah.
You men have changed.
So I say, tomorrow they'll come and take disrespect. So for me, if I was single in 2025 and looking to settle down, I think I'll definitely be looking for someone in my immediate surrounding. It may not just be immediate, but just because
if you look at the flight on KLM, it's expensive.
I mean, apart from all that, I feel like, with the advent of social media, the internet and all that, right? Like you can't really know somebody so much, right? Even without that, you still couldn't. But I feel like with that now, people just put up a version of themselves that they want the world to see.
Right.
And it's hard to make meaningful relationships, meaningful friendships, just based off of that. So you need to be able to experience that person in their natural environment, see some of the things that make them tick, some of the things that are their non-negotiables, what are their value systems, and then just kind of go from there. So it'll be very, very difficult right now for me to navigate having someone, even in Toronto. It'll be difficult for me because I'm like, that's yet too far away. But just, so.
I have a question for you. So, you've searched around your circle, you did not find anyone.
Then you should be looking
Are
at
you
other
open to
talents. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You don't stay for market, they made the tomato they spoil. No. You don't do that. So if you've gotten to a certain age, and as women, our biological clocks are ticking, girl, if you need to travel to Toronto, get on the night bus.
Right.
You need to travel to get that state. Go home. Okay. Last minute thoughts.
I don't think mine can be a last minute thought, but just to summarize on everything that I've heard today, it's just, to me, it's more about individual disparity, right? People are different. People want different things for themselves, right? And for me, it's more about it's more about who you are connected with.
Okay. My last minute take on this is just leave out to God, because man, back home is not easy for anyone. So everybody's looking for a way to get out of that country.
Yeah.
And here is a whole different ball game, and people that come here learn a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes both ways. Not God. If God give you the right one, you thank God till you get the right one. Because if you go back home There are a lot of people that are looking for somebody to elevate them from poverty.
Poverty elevation scheme.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people, so they can act. And Nigerians have been act Nollywood movies, man. Girls go there, we go act like say that them good pass when they come here now. They go change out for you. We bring them come here.
Because one that was in the church.
Yeah, they will change out for you. Very chair. So if you even want, say you want to with the ones where they here too. The truth about it is that this place is a how would I put it? It's a level ground for everyone because the girls are working and making money, the guys are working and making money. So you don't have you can't say you want to just bring one girl and tell her say, hey, sit down here and cook my food before I come back. She's working too. She's making her money. So how do you want to control her? So it's not control now. Nigerians, what we know is we learn from our parents respect. Your mom respects your dad before he gets married from home gets food. But the time has changed. Everyone is doing the same thing now. The woman is now acting like the man, and so men are acting like the man. So,
make her not carry us going.
No, I'm just saying.
And on that note,
I'm just saying. So that's what I'm saying. So it's just best if you're looking for a life partner and you're here. Just pray to God that God just gives you a friend.
oh,
The only friend that will tell you say, "Baba, go collect your glass cup, put it for table, I can't wash it," and you will not shake.
You won't feel it. I agree.
Not only your friend. It's only your friend.
Right.
yeah.
Because it's not your friend. That's why you be thinking. Because she's making 150 and I'm making 100. She's making more than me.
Yeah.
As they came out to the front door, the think camp.
What
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, wait.
But it's not like that sometimes. If you marry your friend will tell you, say, hey, what's the worry? Now go collect your glass, go wash up. It's all left to you on the way you react to it. You just go like, but I know now, I'm tired now. Babe, I go upstairs, you just carry her. You know, you did near the sink. Go drop her.
So laugh it off.
Yeah.
Everybody else give her, we don't end.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
marry your party.
That's the whole truth. Marry
Okay.
your friend.
Okay. The audience, I'm sure somebody will come and ask in the comment section where I won't find this party.
No,
But that's
that's
another.
it,
We'll continue. Yes.
Part two.
Yes.
I will tell you.
So
if you want to
you guys
know.
let us know if you want us to go deeper into this topic and dissect it left, right, and center. But I think we've done justice to it today. I've loved this conversation. I've loved hearing varying opinions about if to go home or if to marry from your immediate environment. And I think they're all valid conversations. I think there's advantages. I think there's disadvantages to everything in life. So thank you for tuning in today and having this conversation with us. Let's continue in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell everybody to tell somebody to tell whoever to come and have this conversation with us as well. So until we come your way in the next episode, we remain the Pairfect Crew. Stay blessed and have a great weekend.